Hi, Genevieve Jacobs from Region Media with today's news update, which comes at the launch of the Canberra Theatre season with all kinds of exciting things in the offing. Alex Budd is with me. He's the theatre's director. Alex, we're back in business by the looks of things.
We are, Genevieve. It's really exciting. It's a funny way to launch a season. We've announced about 16 of the 20 productions that are happening at the theatre this year, plus a whole range of comedy and contemporary music and many more shows to come, but it's an exciting time.
Now, Fangirls is just about to open in the next week or so. It's one of a number of shows that are coming off very strong festival performances elsewhere. We've got the likes of A German Life, been described as Robin Nevins' role of a lifetime, a huge success at the Adelaide Festival. What's the direction there for the Canberra Theatre?
Well, we're really keen to bring Canberran shows out of their first season. So direct transfers from the Sydney Opera House or, as you say, from the Adelaide Festival. Fangirls has been in Adelaide as well. It's had a rave reviews in Adelaide and a huge success after first opening for Belvoir Street in Sydney in 2019. A bit of a pause with the little old pandemic. And then a sold-out season at the Seymour Centre in Sydney, direct to Adelaide, and then to us next week. A fabulous new voice in Australian contemporary music theatre. Eve Blake's pulled it together. If you've ever fallen in love with a contemporary music theatre star or a contemporary singer, then come along to Fangirls. And Robin Nevin is just sensational in German Life. I saw the production when it opened in Adelaide. Again, it had fabulous reviews, and there's this really interesting story behind Robin seeing Maggie Smith play the role on the West End a few years ago, and she came back, spoke to John Frost, a big commercial theatre producer here, and said, "John, I'd really like to do a production. Would you like to put up the money for it?" And John said yes. They asked Neil Armfield to direct it, and here we are, Robin in the role of a lifetime.
So does this indicate something of an intention for the theatre, that where shows have been really big elsewhere, we've seen those kinds of things that garner national attention about the theatre, that we're going to get them here, we're going to bring them to our theatre?
Absolutely, and I think this is stage one in where I'd like to see more productions actually start at the Canberra Theatre Centre and help involve the local scene in Canberra to be part of the creation of theatre from Canberra that then goes to the rest of the country.
Okay, so we're teasing a little bit here because there are some very big announcements that Canberrans will really, really flock to coming in the next couple of days. So keep watching the RiotACT for some announcements about that, probably Sunday night, Monday morning. We'll see how we go with that one. But Alex, there's also some other intentions strategically around this, building more local engagement with the theatre, reflecting the place that the theatre actually sits in.
That's right. I mean, we're very keen to connect more deeply with the local art scene in Canberra and local professional artists that we know are living here and creating fabulous work. So in forthcoming weeks, look out for more announcements about a project where we've given it the working title of A New Territory. We're going to be inviting expressions of interest for local theatre makers to come and pitch their productions to us. We're going to pay them, we're going to find them space, and this is, as I said, the start of creating work in Canberra to take to the nation.
Okay, and I recall talking to you about this time last year. Of course, we had the pandemic all around us, all the attendant issues. We can get bums back on seats, though, to put it crudely.
Yeah, we have 75% of the bums we want at the moment. Sadly, the next 25% is still to be negotiated. But we're seeing the Sydney Opera House go to 100% yesterday. Hamilton the musical's opening in Sydney with 100%. So there are some big theatres that are going that way, very close to us. So I can see with the vaccine rollout coming, we're not far away. That last 25% is so important for theatre. I mean, that's where 100% of the profit lies for many, many shows. And Live Performance Australia have come out today calling on governments around the country to return everybody to 100%, and I couldn't support that more.
Okay, so we are that close to everyone being back in the theatre, and some really exciting prospects for us here in Canberra at the Canberra Theatre. Keep watching for the announcements about some of the things that we're just being a little bit guarded about, but boy, it's big news. It's really big news. Also making news on the RiotACT this week, we have all the latest on the vaccine rollout, all the details about how that's going to happen right here in Canberra. We're also looking at the return of the charity bins but with conditions. And of course, this has been a rolling saga, people dumping all kinds of unsuitable things and using them as waste. Not really fair, but very shortly the bins will be back in place if we can all obey the rules. We're talking about development and pressures in Canberra as always, the apparent stalling of the Kipax Centre development, and also the enormous amount of choke that there is coming out of Molonglo in the morning. And another long-running story, and that is whether we get a new stadium in Canberra. The costs are a bit eye-watering. Well north of $500 million, perhaps as high as $700 million to put a stadium in the middle of the city. Ian Bushnell's written an editorial that says, well, can we really afford that? There's a couple more years left in the old one and lots of vigorous discussion either way. Look, sign up for our newsletters. You can get a daily now and a weekly newsletter that pops into your inbox every week. Join in our great big conversation here in Canberra and stay informed about what's happening with local news. I'm Genevieve Jacobs and this is Region Media.